Hi traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. So just wanted to touch on the really astounding market moves that we saw on Friday after the US employment figures. And we didn't get to do a video yesterday because we had a public holiday here in Victoria, Melbourne, Victoria. And but we do want to just do a quick follow-up on it. So we really see the power of expectation, and we can see that rally here on Friday, and it was a 1.70% rally, and this is all off the back of basically bad news beating expected very bad news. So job creation picked up in the US on Friday, and we saw the unemployment rate come in much lower than what had been expected. And this really set the tone for a strong recovery, particularly in stocks and in risk currencies, which we'll get to quickly in a moment. The US 30, we can see here, was another real big winner. I was watching the release, and it jetted off really quickly on the release. We can see a 2.88% jump there on the US 30. The Nasdaq, it sort of stalled after the release. It was a little bit of a surprise, but it did follow through later in the session, and we can see yesterday, it hit new records once again. It's just quite amazing if we just look at this in the monthly chart. So I've been looking at this quite a bit lately, and we can see that real solid move down after due to coronavirus, that fight back, and then here the continuation of that fight back, which is taken us to new records, which is hard to believe that after what we've all been hearing and going through and watching going on in the US, now news that the US economy is officially in a recession, that the Nasdaq has just flat out not only ignored that, but it's just rallied for 3 straight months now, and hit new records, which I find quite amazing, to be honest with you. The US 30 and the SPX, they haven't quite hit the straps that the Nasdaq has, but the recoveries have been very strong on their own individual performances, and we can see here that the S&P is the second in the race, but really just the Nasdaq has just been really unbelievable. So what we will be looking at now is just to see what we've got left now. Are we at a point where we're going to see a profit taking type pullback that does gain a little bit more momentum? We haven't really. The last real lower low was back on the 27th of the 5th, and we've just had continued higher lows really from that point and higher highs. So now we have broken above that record point. Will we see now a pullback coming into the market? It's a hard one to tell. We continue to see the Williams at heavily overbought areas, but that hasn't really stopped it in the past. So you do have to be careful when you're looking at indications like that. You have to really just keep a good focus on the trend and just make sure you are also factoring that in, because if you're just going straight off indicators being overbought or oversold in high momentum markets, that can lead to some issues for you if you are just trading straight off that. So we'll just move on quickly to some of the risk currencies. Now, the AUD had a fantastic day yesterday, and that was after the Chinese trade balance also came in much better than expected. So we are just more further signs that economies are slowly starting to recover from the COVID-19 downturn. Not there yet, but there are more positive signs emerging. We can see the Aussie today briefly moved above the December 31 high, and which was a good sign. But at the moment, we are seeing a little bit weaker moving into tonight's European session, and London session will start in just under an hour from now. And the story is around about the same on some of the other currencies, but the euro did come off late on Friday, and the pound as well is a little bit lower today, but after having a good session yesterday after Friday's directional movement after breaking above that high here in Friday's session. Now, the surprising one yesterday was the yen. So the yen did pick up, and it continues to pick up today. And we are seeing continued selling now from the major currencies to the Japanese yen. The euro was hit particularly hard yesterday, and the pound as well. So we are now just back on the wait and see mode. We want to see if when these corrections, what happens with them if we do have a higher low, or if we do see a new lower high to start setting up the next phase that we're going to be looking for. So we have to respect the current momentum. So we'll be looking to see if we do see something develop with a new higher low to set up possibly a new continuation confirming these new trends. Data wise, today we don't have any key data coming out, and myself and I'm sure a lot of people will just be continuing to keep focus on the US stocks, in particularly the Nasdaq, just to see if we do have another extension higher, or if we do see a pause and then maybe a possibility of a new short-term correction to begin. So we'll be very interested to see how we go over tonight and tomorrow's session to see what the next steps are. So that's it from now. We hope you have had a good trading week so far, and enjoy the rest of your trading day. And until tomorrow, bye for now, and thanks for watching and listening.